Yo, what's up guys? It's your boy Franklin here, and today, I'm tired as hell. We still have that giveaway box going on for you guys, so if you guys want to check that out, go ahead and check out my previous video that I published on my channel. If you want to get a box of shiny Zaicians on Mazentas, go ahead and read the rules, enter the contest. So let's get to it. I actually made a tier list before of Pokemon games. I ranked them from like F tier to A tier, S tier, I believe. And so I never did it on the starters, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. So let's get right into it. So the criteria is we're strictly going to be talking about the base starters. There's no Mega Evolutions, no regional variants, because honestly, I think it's unfair that the majority of these starters don't even have Mega Evolutions or even like external forms that, you know, it'll just make the list a bit too biased. So I'm strictly gonna be categorizing them based on how good they are to how trash they are, and that is subjectivity. It's all my opinion. If you get butthurt, well, go ahead and answer in the comments below why my tier list is wrong. There are several factors that I would be taking into consideration, such as the competitiveness of the Pokemon, the design, and the importance of the Pokemon within a certain metagame. So let's start off right off the bat. I think that Incineroar it's gonna be somewhere around here. I think with its hidden ability, it might be too good, but because you know, VGC OU, it's actually pretty decent. I'll put it good here for now, strictly because, you know, it's ever since it got its hidden ability, it became really good on VGC. And doubles, I mean singles, not so much to the point that it's like, oh wow, it's broken. I would consider too good to be probably broken. I would say, let's rewrite this, possibly OP. Yeah, I don't think Incineroar is OP. I think it's a really good supporting mon in doubles, and also has a very good pivoting bulky pivot in singles. So, and also its designs look really cool based on a wrestler. I think that's really awesome that they finally have a wrestling type kind of Pokemon that is strictly within a region that makes sense. So, Torterra. I think Torterra's meh. Ground and grass doesn't really have great of a moveset. Its design, while I think it's a good design, but it could have been a little bit better. I never was a fan of the Torterra family line in the first place, so yeah. Blastoise. I think Blastoise is good. Getting its Shell Smash in Generation 8 was godsend. And obviously, it's one of the OGs. I gotta respect the OGs a little bit. If technically, I would put it in meh, because, you know, I don't really see much competitive play from Blastoise anymore, but I think it's good because it has a really good moveset. Obviously, it's one of the starting 3 of the generational starter Pokemon, and I think overall it's not a bad Pokemon if you think about it. If you look at its moveset and look at it versus a lot of the competitive metagame, I think it's pretty good. It's decent. Not obviously it's not broken, but I think it's gonna be like, you know, it's okay. So I'll put it in good. Actually, yeah, I think good is gonna be there for now. Decidueye, another good Pokemon. I think Grass and Ghost is really good, especially as a starter Pokemon. It has really good. It does have a really good ability in trapping Pokemon, helping it out with Spirit Shackle in combination with its own ability of contact moves and all that. I think it's pretty awesome. I've always been a big fan of Decidueye. It was the starter that I picked in Generation 7 when I first started Sun and Moon. I think it's a pretty good Pokemon. It has a really good stats overall. It can be bulky. It could be used as an offensive Pokemon. I think it's good. Venusaur is really good. Not overpowered. I think it's really good in the sense that because Sun is being used everywhere now, and Sun is, I would argue that Sun teams are at their strongest right now in this generation. Venusaur shines very brightly, and with access to Weather Ball and Earth Power, it's insane. Weather Ball just makes this Pokemon so busted, and running it with Chlorophyll, meaning it doubles its speed when the sun is up. And it's one of my favorite starters of all time, as well. Um, I think it's really, I think it's really a good Pokemon you can use in Sun, and if you don't even use it in Sun, it was a pretty good Pokemon in very balanced teams, because you can absorb T-Spikes and pretty much recover with Leech Seed and Sleep Powder, and you can do shenanigans with this. So I think it's good. Skeptile, it's meh. I like his design, but it needs a lot of support from its moveset. Obviously with Unburden, I still think even with Unburden, it's not a great Pokemon offensively. Unlike a lot of its Unburdened compatriots, like Holuchas, I think has always been the prime example or the prime comparison it gets because of its ability. I still think its moveset is something that needs to be something left to be desired. I like the design, but its move pool is what really puts me down. Greninja, I think it's too good. And obviously, I'm not talking about Battle Bond Greninja. That's completely different. Greninja has a really great move pool. It has a broken ass ability. It has great stats. At one point, this thing went to Ubers in Generation 6. Protean with a variety of movesets, like obviously Hidden Power. In its generation, it was Hidden Power Fire, Hidden Power Electric. Um, I'm not going to talk about Z moves because obviously, you know, there are some Pokemon that don't have access to these Z moves, like the Generation 8 Pokemon. But even with the Z moves, I think Greninja was really phenomenal. And I've always loved Greninja. Dark Water is a phenomenal typing that it's only shared by a few Pokemon, and I would say those few Pokemon are kind of good in their respective tiers because of that typing and their abilities. But I think Greninja arguably is like from this move pool of Pokemon that remain is one of the best, if not the best, and that's very subjective. Um, Gaining access to Water Shuriken is great because it has now outside of Shadow Sneak, it has a phenomenal priority move. Spikes. Like I said, the hidden powers. You got Scald, Gunk Shot, U-turn, Low Kick, or Low Sweep, depending on. I believe it was Low Kick. Um, Dark Pulse, Ice Beam. It's a great Pokemon. This Pokemon can just come in and just surprise you. Overall, nothing really safely switches into Greninja. Swampert, I think it's good. Swampert gaining Flip Turn in this generation is phenomenal. It used to be from the previous generation just a bulky Pokemon that just stands in your way and takes all the hits as it possibly can. Its weakness to I think its only weakness is grass, if I'm not mistaken. Now that I think more about it, um, yeah, it's a really great defensive wall. We're not talking about Mega Swampert, but Mega Swampert did have its time in Generation 7. But I think access the usual moveset like Earthquake, Scald, Flip Turn, Toxic, or instead of Scald, you would have Stealth Rocks. I think it's a good Pokemon overall, and it's a really great defensive backbone for a lot of teams. Delphox is going to be the first Pokemon that's trash. I can't really relate to this Pokemon. Psychic and Fire is a pretty interesting typing, but I feel like this Pokemon was not given a good enough move pull to make it stand out from its other Kalos compatriots or companions. I don't like the design. That's just me. I think Delphox is trash, to be honest with you. I think the whole line of Delphox, the Fennekin line, fucking garbage. Move pool is too shallow for it to be any sorts of competitive. And yeah, that's it. Next up, Rillaboom. I think Rillaboom is too good. Reason being is one move, and that is Grassy Glide. Giving this Grassy Glide, well, two things. Grassy Glide and the hidden ability Grassy Surge made this Pokemon a demon because it can just come in and revenge kill any Pokemon it wants. My favorite set of Rillaboom is Choice Banded. It just hits like a truck. Obviously, having access to U-turn if you're suspecting an unfavorable matchup makes this Pokemon super, super good, man. And it's still prominent in doubles, I believe, and in singles. Obviously, in singles, it has a lot of support usage with Grassy Seed, you know, with Hawlucha and other Pokemon that abuse the terrain seeds. But Rillaboom is just a demon. Once it got its hidden ability and Grassy Surge, yeah, it was a wrap. This Pokemon might be too good. I don't think it's like super OP compared to Greninja, but I think it's just too good for it to stand out in this move pool of starters. Empoleon, meh. I think Empoleon, Water and Steel, I think there should be something more special to it. Now, obviously, there's gimmicks, you know, with Swords Dance sets, Power Trip, but I don't really see Empoleon being that great. Yeah, sure, it has access to Defog, and it's one of the very few starters that have access to hazard removal, but I just don't really see. I don't see what's so special about it. Like, it's not bad, but it's not as great that a lot of people hype it up to be. So, yeah. Blaziken. I don't think I need to explain much. Blaziken. Speed boost paved the way for this thing to be broken as hell. It was banned in almost, what, since 5th gen? 6th gen? 7th gen? And then it came back for 8th gen for like a cool couple of months, a couple of weeks, and then just got outright. Actually, no. Speed Boost Blaziken is still allowed in Generation 8, but it was banned for 3 generations because Speed Boost plus Swords Dance means that you are pretty much killing everything on your opponent's team. Fire and Fighting is phenomenal. You have access to Close Combat now. High Jump Kick, Fire Punch, Flare Blitz. You have access to Thunder Punch. You have access to Knockoff, Earthquake. You can pretty much hit anything you want. And this thing hits like a truck with Life Orb. Usually I love the Life Orb set. You don't really have to run Protect anymore. If you sense there's an unfavorable matchup with this, you can just Swords Dance in their face and just sweep the opponent like crazy. And good luck with Speed Boost, because the more speed it gets, that means it's impossible to revenge kill. So, yeah. Emboar. I think Emboar is meh. While I do like his design, and being a little biased here, it was actually one of my first starters that I got in Generation 5. Its move pool, I feel like it needs more setup moves. It has a good move set. Don't get me wrong. Like Wild Charge, Sucker Punch. Heck, I think it has access to like Grass Knot, which is random as hell. Flare Blitz, Close Combat, I believe. But it's something left to be desired. There's like something. I think it might be because it's just too slow, which it makes sense because based on its design. But I think this Pokemon is lackluster in its stats, what it turns out to be. So yeah, Emboar. Its ability is not that great. It's just increases damage of recoil, but you take more recoil. It's like, yeah, no, thank you. So yeah, I don't really. I think it's Reckless. I think that was the ability. It's called Reckless. But I do think it's something left to be desired. Charizard, good. Sun Teams, VGC. I think it's really good. It just abuses Sun. Solar Power with Choice Specs, Weather Ball is disgusting. It kills everything that does not even it Twig heals everything that can possibly resist it. And you have to be like Flash Fire immune in order to survive hits from this demon. But yeah, Charizard has become one of my favorite Pokemon to use in the current meta because again, this and Venusaur are like good partners because Charizard can deal with the Pokemon that Venusaur you cannot hit or has to predict, and vice versa. So Charizard's really good, believe it or not. If you think Charizard's overrated because of its, oh, it's a Gen 1 starter. No, it's more than just that. It's a really good Pokemon. Guys should give it a try. Samurott, trash. I can't really say much about this Pokemon. This Pokemon's too slow. It does have access to Swords Dance, and its ability is dumb as shit. Like, I don't really care about its ability at all. It's not really worth it on a Pokemon that just doesn't bring anything to the table whatsoever. Inteleon, I kind of want to say it's trash, but I will give it meh because it has good speed and special attack. Its ability pretty much gives it a built-in focus energy for a snipe shot, which obviously that's the whole point of it. But it's a one-trick pony. Best to be used as choice specs to hit hard as you can. It does have access to U-turn, which is kind of important in a singles metagame. I think I would. I don't know how I'd feel about this Pokemon. I feel like this Pokemon needs a lot more. Its move pool is okay, I guess. I guess because of its stats, it's more of a meh Pokemon to me rather than trash. If it had like less special attack or less speed, I think it'd be trash. But I think Inteleon is just too frail as well, and it doesn't have the move pool to back up for its frailness. So Meganium, trash. I hate this Pokemon. This Pokemon's move pool sucks ass. Hey, you can prove me wrong in a Pokemon battle, but I guarantee you this Pokemon is ass. I'm not even going to explain that. Typhlosion. I think Typhlosion is meh right now for me. Reason being is that, again, it's a one-trick pony for me. Everyone knows what moves it's going to click. There's no reason to out-predict a Typhlosion. You know what it's going to click. If it's Choice Specs or Choice Scarf, you know it's clicking Eruption. If it's going into a water type, you know it's clicking Thunder Punch. If it's going into I don't know, a fire, I mean not going to fire, going into a ice ground. I'm sorry, what am I talking about? Ice, steel, grass. You know what it's clicking. I think it's just too predictable. Design is okay, but actually no, this is not its design anymore. Its official design now is without the flares, which sucks ass. I think it's meh. It has a good move pool, a decent one at best, but I just don't see it being good. I don't think it's good compared to, like, you have better fire starters there. For Alligator, I think for Alligator, unfortunately, is going to be the victim of a power creep. Obviously, with these two being much better than for Alligator, Dragon Dance Sheer Force is something interesting. But again, its move pool is predictable. It's gonna click Earthquake, sure. If it's gonna click Ice Fang or Ice Punch, sure. Aqua Jet, Waterfall. I mean, it's just hard for me to justify for Alligator being good. Its stats are something left to be desired as well. If it was a little faster, perhaps Dragon Dance would have been phenomenal. But for Alligator, it's just hard for me to justify it being good. So now I'm just putting it as meh. I think it's an okay Pokemon, which is why I made that meh category. Primarina is definitely good. Choice Specs Primarina hits like a truck. Water and Fairy is a good defensive typing in any metagame. And Moonblast, you hit your two stab moves you're gonna use, which is either Scald / Hydro Pump and Moonblast, are phenomenal. It hits everything like a truck in specs. You also have access to Draining Kiss, Substitute, Calm Mind. I think Calm Mind is like super underrated in tangent with Draining Kiss, especially if you're behind a substitute. This thing's phenomenal. It has good HP, like it has fat ass HP. Good special defense, good special attack. The only thing it lacks is physical defense and speed. But obviously it's sitting there and it's just dishing out hits as much as you can. I think this Pokemon is great. Good. Chestnut. I think it's meh. Fighting in grass makes it weak to a lot of stuff. Flying, ice, fire, fairy, poison. So on and so forth. Psychic, you know, it's weak to a lot of stuff. While it does have good defensive typing, good defensive stats, I should say. I just think, again, this move pool, you know what it's gonna run: Spiky Shield, Leech Seed, perhaps Draining Punch if you're really about that life, Seed Bomb or Wood Hammer. You know, this Pokemon is super predictable. I mean, if you can play around it, you can play around it very easily. It has access to spikes, which is something that I am pretty sure I believe Greninja is the only one that has access to spikes out of his entire freaking starter Pokemon, which is something interesting in lower tiers, but I just don't think Chestnut, in terms of its usage right now in other meta games, it's not that great. And even if we're not seeing Chestnut being used in Generation 8, I still believe this Pokemon is not good. I really don't consider it worthy of being good. Now, obviously, another thing I would like to say is that I know there are some Pokemon that have not been released yet in the current generation, but I still, even if those Pokemon were released, I don't think they would significantly change the metagame, or because there's such a huge power creep, things would have been a lot worse for them. Cinderace, I think, is too good. A Libero, I mean, it's kind of broke, and I would say Cinderace is like really good. Me personally, I think it's a little OP. I don't really think it's that freaking broken. Libero with a great move pool of Pyro Ball, Gunk Shot. You have Electro Ball if you want to hit water types by surprise. You have U-Turn, Stab U-Turn. You also have Aerial Ace for flying type attacks. You have High Jump Kick, which hits like a truck. This Pokemon is really good. You can obviously, the biggest comparison it got in this generation was to Greninja. It has a better move pool, kind of a better move pool than Greninja. It also has court change, so if you want to quote unquote get rid of hazards, which is something that always be like really good in any metagame. Cinderace is phenomenal. Obviously, like I said, its main comparison is to Greninja because of its hidden abilities. It does have a decent. It has really good stats for it to utilize this move pool and its hidden ability. I think it's like too good. Infernape. Woo. Now, obviously, the biggest comparison is gonna be, is it gonna be compared to Blaziken, and if we compare it to Blaziken, is it too good or is it just good? I think Infernape is good. Infernape fire and fighting, but it has access to a lot of stuff. It has, well, in its generation, it got access to hidden power ice. You have Flare Blitz, you have Close Combat, you have Focus Blast, you have Fire Blast, you have Grass Knot, you have, I believe you have Shadow Claw as well, which is pretty interesting. I can't wait to see the updated move pools, if they do end up getting updated move pools for the 4th gen starters, and perhaps this list might change a little bit. It also has access to Thunder Punch. So this Pokemon, Infernape, I think it's good. I don't think it's broken. I believe it is the best starter in Generation 4. Enough said. If it does get an updated move pool, perhaps my mind will change. I forgot its hidden ability, Iron Fist, is actually really good because it hits Pokemon that it needs to hit a little bit more. It has access to Mach Punch and Vacuum Wave, so Infernape can be used as a special attacker as well, if needed. Although I like the physical aspect of it a lot. Superior. I loved using Superior in 7th generation, don't get me wrong, because of one ability only. But I think it's meh. So this might be my hot take. Because while Superior does have Contrary, and obviously everyone's spamming Leaf Storm with it, I just don't think it has enough of a move pull to consider it to be good or possibly OP. I think it's meh. Again, it's just too predictable. I just don't see it having enough firepower to deal with potential Pokemon like Heatran and fire and bulky fire types that otherwise may cause problems to it. I think it's just too one-dimensional for me personally. I mean, if Superior is coming in, it's clicking Leaf Storm, it's clicking Leech Seed, it's clicking Glare, it's clicking Substitute. But I think it can be easily dealt with now with the power creep of a lot of Pokemon that we got, like Dragapult, for example. Weavile is becoming very prominent now. Those Pokemon with their updated move pools can deal with Superior very easily, which is now why I put it in meh. So anyway, guys, this is the final starter list. What do you think? Honestly, if I had to make a few changes to my list, honestly, I would put Inteleon, now that I think about it, to trash. It's kind of hard because it's like, what do I think about these Pokemon for sure are not good. You can argue Inteleon is like meh, but its ability it makes it like meh as well. Um, you can argue Typhlosion is good, but I mean, again, is it better than Charizard? Is it better than Infernape and Incineroar? I don't think so. I think they could be said with for Alligator. Is it better than these three starter Pokemon? Perhaps not. You can also argue Superior should be good because of its contrary and Leaf Storm capabilities, breaking through a bunch of teams, but again doesn't have that many good move. Doesn't have a good move pool to justify it, like Dragon Pulse and Hidden Power Fire, and that's pretty much it. Yeah. So what do you guys think? You agree with the list? Let me know what you guys think below in the comment section of this video. And yeah, see you guys on the flip side. I will announce the winners of the giveaway tomorrow. Hope to see you guys soon. If you guys want to become a member of my channel, you can go ahead and click join on the channel video. Well, every video now is going to have the join membership. If you want to do it, you don't have to do it. You can continue supporting me for free just by simply liking, subscribing, and checking out my videos. See you guys on the next video. Peace.